Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Bet on Yourself, Sis. I am Pink Lady, your host. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm excited for another episode. So today's episode is with Shirlz Rejouis. She is the CEO of Frequency 973 Productions, which is a media company focused on producing podcasts and storytelling content that celebrates Black culture. She is also the co creator and co host of the Millennial Her podcast, and she has over 10 years of experience in podcasting. In this episode, we talk all about what she does with Frequency 973 Productions and all of her other podcasting work. We talk about community and representation. We talk about spirituality and purpose, mental health and storytelling, entrepreneurial challenges and growth. We get real deep about mental health, y'all. And we talk all about like walking in your purpose, what that means and what that looks like. And I tell Shirlz how much of an impact she's had on me, which I think is super important because, as I say in the episode, you never know the impact that you're going to have on people. So it's really important to show up authentically, honestly, kind, and all of that. So I know you'll enjoy this episode.
Bet on yourself, sis. Bet on yourself, sis. You've got the goal, confidence and style. Let your power show. You such a boss.
Shirlz Rejoice. Oh my gosh, I'm so
Hey.
happy to have you here. Y'all, let me tell you, the first time I met, I've only had the pleasure of meeting Shirlz one time, but the first time we met, I felt like we were already family. Y'all, she pulled me into this hug that reminds me of like when you ain't seen your aunties in a long time and they hug you and they feel like they miss you and they love you. And it was just like, oh yeah, that's Black women love right there. So
Yep.
and plus the conversation that you had, I went to a workshop. So I went to a workshop that you did at the Afros and Audios podcast conference. I'm going again this year. I can't wait. It was last year that we met. And yeah, I learned so much from you. Like you made me really feel like empowered and like inspired and motivated, like all of that in that meeting. So I was just like, yeah, I need to speak to her again. And I'm like, why not, bring on the podcast? I asked, and you were more than happy to come on and spend an hour with me. So I'm just grateful to have you here and really excited for this conversation. So,
Me too. I'm so thankful that you asked me
oh,
to be a
yes.
part of the podcast. I feel the same way when we met. We just clicked
Yeah.
automatically. So I was so down to do this interview.
Oh, thank you so much. So please tell the people, who are you and what do you do?
So my name is Shirley, but everyone calls me Shirlz. I am a podcaster. I've been in the podcasting space for about 10 years now. My sole thing that I do now is producing podcasts. So I've worked on a lot of podcasts, is Small Doses with Amanda Sills, my own podcast, the Millennial Her podcast, which I co-host with my co-host Ariel Daniels. Um, I've been on this podcast called Blink Space Podcast. So basically, how I got introduced to podcasting was in college when this was just a new thing. I mean, we started a pod. I was asked to join a podcast about hip hop, mental health, and just entertainment, and they wanted like a female's perspective, and I am a big hip hop head, so that's what most of my work that I do is revolves around Black culture, music, and yeah, that's how I got introduced to podcasting. I am a social worker, I'm a therapist. My niche is I work with the deaf and hard of hearing community, so I am fluent in sign language. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You want a fun fact about me?
Yeah.
What's a fun fact? I'm ambidextrous,
Ah,
so
so both
I'm
hands.
able to use both left and right hands to write
That's super cool.
and just do different things.
Super cool, super cool. So, what I want to talk about first is you said you've been podcasting or you've been in the podcasting industry for 10 years, and that is amazing, right? So, you were in the podcasting hasn't been around that long. It's still pretty much a new industry, right? So you were
Yeah.
in the beginnings of it, right? Which I think is really cool, especially because when I started getting into the podcasting industry, all I was looking for was Black women, and it seemed like nobody was around. And now all and not just Black women, I was looking for Black people in general, right? But it seemed like I just couldn't find them. But now when I meet everybody, it's like, oh yeah, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've been doing this for 15 years. And it's like, what the heck? And it's all about the algorithm, right? Like, I don't think it's I think it's by design that we couldn't find each other, right? I don't think
Mm-hmm.
that's like far fetched, right? Like it happened like that on purpose. But I'm just so glad to be meeting so many podcasters, so many Black women podcasters, especially because that's my community, Black women entrepreneurs. That's who I want to talk to.
Yes.
That's who I want to learn from. So I'm really excited to be learning from you today.
I feel like this conversation is going to be great.
Yeah,
I'm
girl.
excited too.
So, another thing I want to talk about, you said you mainly work with the like deaf, hard of hearing community. Talk about that more. Why is that like who you mainly work with? Is that by choice? Or did it kind of just fall upon you and you just, tell us all about it?
So, originally when I went to college, I thought I wanted to be like a speech pathologist, and I was like required to take sign language as my language. And then at the time, I didn't like speech therapy at all. Like, but I liked ASL. I was pretty good at it, and my advisor advised me to kind of go into the field. So that's how I got introduced to it. I don't have any deaf people or deaf members in my family. I've also been working in the field for like 10 years, but my main focus is mental health when it comes to the deaf and hard of hearing community. I currently live in New Jersey, so like especially like the North Jersey area, there isn't a lot of resources for the deaf and hard of hearing, especially when it comes to mental health. So I am an advocate for that, and that's kind of like how I got introduced to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm in Jersey too. Right now I'm in Hamilton, which is, if people don't know Hamilton, I usually say Trenton, New Jersey, because yeah,
Trenton,
everybody knows Trenton, right? But I grew up in Patterson, so North Jersey is, I know what you mean. And I actually have a cousin who is hard of hearing, and it's so amazing to see him like thrive because I know what his parents have gone through, with finding him
hmm
like education and mental health things. Like, so he's married now, and like, they trying to have children. And it's like, okay, like
nice.
it's so beautiful to see them thrive because like I said, I know what they went through. So it's
Yeah,
yeah, I think it's really cool that that's like what you enjoy to do, because I don't meet many people who I hear that from, so I think it's just a beautiful
thank
thing, and
you.
it takes a special kind of person. So wanted to shout you out for that.
Appreciate that. Appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
Talk more about your love for hip hop. Like, where did that come from? Yeah, just all about it.
So my love of hip hop, I am the youngest, and my family is just a musical family, especially when it comes to hip hop. My sister and brother, I mean, I feel like I've been listening to hip hop since I came out the womb, fell in
Probably
love with
before.
it. Yeah. Um, but I like the history. So I'm a nerd, a blurred. So I love history, especially like music history. Also, I'm a vinyl collector, so I love to collect vinyls. And yeah, I think my love for hip hop started when I was younger, and it's just something that's so ingrained in me that like I could talk hip hop for hours.
Yeah, yeah. Love it. I like hip hop. I'm not like a hip hop head, I can't lie. But I'm a music lover. So I love
Okay,
all different types of music. I love a good like melody, a good cadence. I do love lyrics. So yeah, like I love
nice.
wordplay too. So that's what I love about hip hop. So
So
yeah.
are you like a R&B lover? Because I'm also an
Yeah,
R&B lover.
yeah, I love R&B. That I would say R&B will probably be my favorite. I like oldies too, though. I love like
Oh
70s
yeah.
music, Earth, Wind and Fire type.
Okay.
Yeah,
Love
but I love
that.
pop
I'm
too.
more of a 90s. I like I would say my favorite era of music is probably like, yeah, 90s.
Okay. I think for me it's like 80s, 90s because for I gotta have like my Whitney and my Mariah Carey and my like
Mhm.
that right there, like
Yeah,
golden.
that's like a good that is golden.
Yeah.
I would say for me it would be like 90s 2000s
Okay.
era. Um but then I just like so I started curating playlists
Okay.
and I was like I fell in love with again with like the 2016 era
Okay.
of music. So this is
16.
like the 20 from 2010 to
Give
2016.
me
So
some
that's
songs like
like Travis Porter,
okay.
Waka
Okay,
Flocka,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like
I'm
Rich
tripping.
Homie
That
Quan,
was my
Migos
college
era.
days, so I know
That's my
exactly.
college days too.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
okay.
so like I'm like I
Mhm.
refell in love with that era because I'm just
Yeah.
like this era doesn't get talked about a lot. I know Metro
Yeah.
Boomin just dropped an album about like this summer, the
Okay.
future. So like and he like the whole point of that album was to give us that nostalgia.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I gotta check that out. Okay. Guys, I
Yeah.
will put everything in the show notes. Don't worry. Um, I got y'all. Okay. Let's talk about your media company, Frequency 973 Productions. Is 973 the New Jersey thing? Oh my gosh, because that's the area
Yes.
code of 973. Oh, yes, I love that. Love that.
Yes,
Talk
yes.
about it. Talk about it.
So the 973 represents where I'm from, born and raised in Orange, New Jersey. I am the definition of North Jersey.
Yes,
Okay? Like
yes.
so shout outs to North, the Oranges and all. So Frequency 973 Production is a multimedia production company. I'm the CEO and head producer. So we produce podcasts. We assist with any forms of media, whether it's TV, with script writing, documentaries. Also, we added playlist curation and event curation too. So
Cool.
yeah,
Cool.
that's that's basically what we
Love
do.
that. Love that. So, talk about the building of the business. Talk about like where the idea came from, how you built it, what all of that felt like in between. We'd love to hear about the challenges that you overcame and, what it felt like cuz we know that everything is not great all the time, right? We
Mhm.
know that sometimes we got to get through the icky stuff in order to appreciate, right? The good stuff. So, yeah, talk all about that.
Okay, so to be full transparent, so last year I quit my full time job. At the time that I decided to quit, I did have extra employment, so I was just kind of like over it. So I'm just like, I'm gonna be okay if I quit. And then in the midst of that, I end up getting laid off because of budget cuts. So then, like, if anyone is familiar, I mean, this job market right now is terrible. I have been able to find employment, but it's not in anything that I love to do. It's kind of just things in the realm of because I'm qualified in it,
Mhm.
I'm doing it. And the jobs that I wanted to do, I wasn't getting. And I just didn't understand because I'm like putting in thousands of application and I'm not hearing anything back. I am a faith-based person, and during the time I did fall into like a deep depression, and then I just remember praying and like God is just revealing to me that you've always said that you wanted to be an entrepreneur, do your own thing. Like when are you ever this free? Like
Mhm.
outside, like because I'm just known for since I was younger. I'm known for having like three
Mhm.
jobs, going to school. It's just like so. I feel like in the midst of that, that's when I really started trying to figure out my purpose. Like what was I put on earth for?
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, I really love producing. I think that's one of my strong qualities. And I'm just like, I've always produced for other networks, so why not start my own production company and and assist people with their podcasting and also like different forms of media. And that's where the idea came from. And then since then, I just started working, doing research on how to build a business, on what is required when it comes to, a business networking. And yeah, and that's how my company was started.
Nice, nice. That reminds me of something that you said during the workshop. Something that it seems so simple. It's like one of the light bulb moments. It's like, duh, why didn't I think of that? But you were
Mhm.
talking about like really going to your community, going to the stores in your community, asking for like donations or asking for sponsorships and things like that. And it's just like, duh.
Mhm.
Something you also talked about was asking for asking for the money. I love
Oh
that you
yeah.
talked about that because I feel like money is something that we always kind of shy away from, and it's just like
Mhm.
we need money. We live in Jersey, so
Exactly. We've been taught to be so humble. It's just like
mhm.
an uncomfortable conversation, but
Mhm.
it's just like there's a lot of free money out there
Okay.
that's just waiting, and we just got to take the initiative and take the
Taking the
step.
steps, exactly, exactly. And it's like not psyching yourself out, not telling yourself no, right? Like if anything, the
Mhm.
worst that can happen is they can tell you no, but let
Yeah,
them
they
tell
could
you
tell you
no,
no.
right? Don't tell yourself no, because
Exactly.
then they could say yes. Ah,
Exactly.
okay.
And if they do say no, that just means that it wasn't for you and it
Mhm.
wasn't aligned for you
Mhm.
and it's something better that's coming.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I learned a lot from you. I'm telling you.
Oh, and that was a year
I
ago. So I'm glad that
remember.
I'm so glad that that stuck with you.
Yeah, there are a few more things that stuck with me, and we'll get to them throughout the conversation. But I think that was a good segue into that. You talk about purpose, and I think that's one of the conversations that you wanted to talk to about, like redefining what success means and like doing things that are within your purpose, right? And I love having this conversation about like how do you figure out like what is your purpose, right? Like how do you figure out what you're
Mhm.
passionate about? Like what does that feel like? How do you figure those things out? Because I think a lot of the times people talk about like, walking within your purpose and being in purpose, but it's like, but how do I do that? So talk about that.
Okay, so I would say if anyone's trying to figure out their purpose, I always ask, what's one thing that you would do that you would be happy doing and you would never get paid for it, but you would still do it.
Mm,
So whatever that thing is, that's your purpose because
mm,
the point of it is that it brings you joy, that you don't even care if you don't get paid for it
yeah.
because you just genuinely love doing it.
That's a great point. That's a great point. That's how I feel about this podcast. It's like whether I'm getting paid for
Yeah.
I'm not getting paid for it. Don't get me wrong,
But you
right?
will be. You
But
will
but I'm
be.
sowing the seeds, right? Exactly. Because
Yeah.
this is exactly what I wanted to do. Have conversations, learn from Black women entrepreneurs. So yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love
And you're doing it. You're killing it.
thank you.
And
Thank
also, I feel like once you figure out what your purpose is, then you just start working
you.
backwards
Okay.
in a
Talk more
way of
about that.
like, okay, so it's like, for example, you said your purpose is doing the podcast and you're not getting paid for it. So it's just like expanding your network,
Mm,
which is something you do. You attend podcast panels, you connect with different podcasters, and it's just about that. It's like
yeah.
doing your research because there's people that want to do something but they don't even know how to start.
Yep.
And I think the biggest thing that I've, especially during this season, that I've learned is that sometimes we try to rush to the goal, like to our goal. And when we don't get that gratification, it just automatically feels like rejection. And especially when it comes to Black women, we've been taught that we have to just keep
Mm,
working and we have to earn rest. And
yes.
what
Talk
I've
about
been
it,
what
girl.
I
Ugh.
and it's a very hard thing to be mindful of because we're so used to just going
Mm.
that we feel like, okay, if we're not productive, then we're not doing what we're supposed to do.
Yep.
And what I've learned is that you have to take things in small units
Yeah.
because when you do things in small units and you're consistent and you keep doing it, it eventually grows. So
Yes.
kind of like how you said the seed,
Yeah.
it's like just keep watering the seed daily, and then before you know it, you're gonna look and it's a huge sunflower, and it's like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, well, yeah, but you've been consistent, you've been doing little things.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that because that's exactly what it is. You got to look at the progress, right? Like you're not
Mm-hmm.
always. not always going to see the end goal, right? Like you're
Yeah,
not always going to know what it's going to turn out to be, but look at the progress. You're not where you were yesterday, you're not where you were a year ago, right? Like there's been progress.
exactly.
So yeah, I love that, love that, love that. I want to talk to you about, because you have multiple degrees, right? And you were saying like this job market is trash. It just is right
Hmm.
now, right? And you're kind of, you just had to kind of do things, which is part of the journey, right? It is
Yeah.
definitely part of the entrepreneurial journey. But just having to kind of take on jobs that you're qualified for. And I know one of the things you wanted to talk about is like you said, doing the right thing like college, but feeling unfulfilled, right? Like I got this degree, I got
Hmm.
these degrees, I got these higher degrees. They say what, like only 13% of people have master's degrees or something like that. Something like that. I may not be correct, but
I think you're right. And then black women, we are the most educated. We
okay.
have the most degrees. That's just a thing. Like I know there's like a running joke on like TikTok. It's like black women be bored and just decide to sign up for a class. I'm like, it's so true.
Stop. Stop, because I'm literally like thinking about going back to grad school right now, and it's not because
Yeah.
I'm bored. It's there are a lot of different reasons, but that was just it felt like it hit home to me. Oh gosh, but yeah, talk about like the doing the right thing, but feeling like all right, what?
Okay. So I feel like, I mean, especially for black people in general, we've been taught, go to college, right?
Yep.
Go to college is the way for success. And I do believe there's great benefits of going to college. So I'm never against people not going to college at all, because I think college builds like character, it builds network.
Mhm.
Um and I just love knowledge.
Mhm.
So um but I did get 3 degrees, and I still felt like I never got paid my worth.
Mm.
I would be in rooms where I'm the most qualified, and people would still like second guess me. And I'm just like, I I just didn't understand. But then I'm like, race, of course, plays a role in it.
Mhm.
And after just dealing with that for so long, it's like I can't do this no more at all. Like I try to wake up and be my authentic self every day, no matter where I'm at. Like if I'm in a room with a bunch of CEOs, or if I'm with my homegirls
Mhm.
at the bar. So I just felt like I was not being fake, but having to fit into this mold, and it just wasn't me. And I felt like um even though I deserve promotions, I would do extra work, I still wasn't
Mhm.
getting my just due. So um going back to the college, doing everything right, we were taught to do everything right, but then I didn't get the results that I needed. Now, I don't regret getting my degrees, because I still use the knowledge based on what I do with podcasting with Frequency 973. And it's always great to be educated. But I feel like that's not the only way, especially in the new age of just media, the internet. It's like you don't I don't want to shy anyone away from getting a degree, but there's other avenues. And also, I wanted to bring up, it's more so about pivoting,
Mm.
you
Yeah.
know? Like it's like you could be doing something for so long, but then sometimes you just don't feel fulfilled, or you want something new, and it
Mhm.
doesn't mean that you're giving up or throwing away what you've been doing. It's just more so finding a way to do it in a different way.
Yeah. 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 I love that. I really love how you said, you're being your authentic self no matter where you are. That is absolutely something
Hmm.
I've struggled with, right? Especially
Hmm.
being in spaces at work, working in jobs that I'm just qualified for. I don't love it. I'm just doing it for the money. And then I'm doing like things that I'm passionate about on the side, right? So I'm busy. And that
Hmm.
makes me feel like, oh, I have some degree of success because I'm booked and busy, right? Like I have people who want to work with me, right? But it's not sustainable. I was tired. I would get sick. Like
Mhm.
for me, I would like literally be sick, drained, and like not feeling well because I wasn't taking care of myself and because I was putting on different faces. I was one place, I was act one way when I'm at this job, then I'm a different way when I'm at this job, and then I'm a different way when I'm home. And it's just like that is exhausting.
It's very exhausting.
I don't want to do that no
Yeah.
more.
But sometimes we have to, unfortunately, we have to code switch.
Yes.
That's just a thing, when it
Yeah.
comes to professionalism and,
But I think it's a difference between
corporate.
code switching and like switching up like the syntax and the word that you're using and then like switching up your personality. I feel like I was switching up my
Mhm.
personality and now I know that like no, I can be polite and friendly and just be this person. Right?
Yeah,
Like I don't have to switch up my personality. They going to get Jasmine and I'm going to make a joke and
exactly.
I'm going to laugh and I'm going to smile cuz that's what I like to do, not because I feel like I have to, because that's me.
And it makes your day go by quicker too.
Yes. I'm not worried about what they think or worried about the last thing I just said. I used to do that all the time.
Mhm.
I'd be like, "Ooh, did I take it too far? Like, did I say something they didn't
Yeah.
think was funny?" And I would like spend all day thinking about that shit. Like, no, 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 no. Stop, stop, stop. Get it out.
We tend to do that, especially in social settings too.
Mhm.
That's just like if you have anxiety, just
Mhm.
ruminating, overthinking, trying
Mhm.
to pinpoint it. But it's just like people are always gonna have something to say about you. Like
Absolutely.
I don't know if you're familiar with Mel
Yeah.
Robbins and the let them theory. Like I 100% agree with her. It's just like let them.
Mhm.
Like they always gonna have something
Because
to
it's
say
not about
regardless. Even
you most of the time, right? Like
mm-hmm.
it's mostly about them.
Mhm. And people be battling stuff that you have no idea.
Never guess.
Never guessed it at all.
Yeah, love that. Yeah, just let them think what they want, let them feel what they
Yep.
want. It is what it is. Yeah. Absolutely. Hey y'all, Pink Lady here. I am the producer for Dim Boys Podcast, and I am so excited to tell you about my production company,
Pink Lady Productions. We collaborate with creatives like you who are driven to share your message by launching your podcast from A to Z and coaching you through the process. To learn more about our services, check out our website at pinkladyprod.com. That's PINKLADYPROD.com.
All right. So, what does being an entrepreneur mean to you?
I think being an entrepreneur means fully betting on yourself
Mm,
and walking in your purpose. Also, never settling.
yes.
Um, I know there it's been this whole thing about like LLC, TikTok,
Mm,
Twitter was like a big
mhm.
thing, especially like during the pandemic. And I do believe not everyone is meant to be an entrepreneur, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Some people just do better with stability and not working a 9 to 5 setting,
Yeah.
and some people just feel like they don't want to elevate and they're comfortable where they are. And I think that is 100% fine. But when it to me, being an entrepreneur means to like fully walk in your purpose, but you're the person guiding yourself,
Mm,
meaning that instead of working for other people, you're working for yourself to build something
yeah.
that can sustain.
Absolutely. I love that you said betting on yourself because that is why the podcast is titled Bet on Yourself, Sis. You got to add the sis, right? So we know who
Mhm.
I'm talking to, right? Because this
Yeah.
podcast, anybody can listen. It's all inclusive, right? I don't want to exclude anyone. I hope if people who are not Black women listening to this podcast, I hope you learn something, right? So
Mhm.
but this podcast is not for you. It's for Black women entrepreneurs. So that's why you had to add the little sis. But it's a call to action, right? It's to bet on yourself if you feel that calling. Cause like you said, it's not for everyone. Just kind of like we were talking about like college, right? I don't think college is for everyone, especially now because there's so many different ways to learn, right? YouTube University is a
Exactly.
thing and people are thriving off of YouTube University, right? But
Mhm.
for some people, like the college setting it feels good, right? Like, and then
Yeah, especially at HBCU.
okay,
Like,
yes. And then you were saying about like, being a lifelong learner. That's absolutely how I feel about myself. I want to learn, and don't get me wrong, again, you can learn from everywhere, but like I feel good when I'm learning something new, and when I'm able to like use it and know that I'm using it well, and I'm able to like
yeah,
learn over like a longer amount of time. Like I remember things in workshops, I remember things in classrooms, like whatever is meant for me, I think I'm going to remember it, I'm going to take it in, right? But again, it's just maybe not for everyone, and you got to find out what works for you.
yeah.
I love how you keep bringing it back to like walking in your purpose. I really love that,
Hmm.
and you can tell that like your spirituality has um has a lot to do with it, I think. And if I'm reaching, let me know. But it just
Oh no,
feels
I
like,
think so.
yeah, it just feels like that it plays a big role in, maybe your decision making and how you pivot and things like that. So if you want to talk more about your spirituality and how it plays into your entrepreneurship.
Sure. So this year to me, I would if my life was a book,
Mm.
I would title this chapter "The Year of Surrender."
Ooh,
Um,
okay.
so
Talk
like I explained to you from about like just my struggles with employment. And when you've had when you've reached a goal that you thought was impossible,
Mm,
like nothing is really impossible. When you've reached that and then you kind of not lo- and you lose it when it
mm,
like it's been taken away from you, you have no other choice but to surrender.
mm,
To That's how I feel. Um because at that point it's just like you're at the bottom of the bottom, like you're at the lowest of lowest. And I feel like for me, if I didn't have my faith, I don't know if I would have made it through this year at all.
yeah.
So like my faith is very important because I believe that what I want exists. If I pray for it and I ask for it, it may not. The issue is like sometimes we pray for something and we want it right then and there,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and then when we don't get it, it's just like, all right, God, like what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
But then I think this year has taught me to fully just like I know what I want. I told God what I want, and it's about like not taking control of the situation because that's what we tend to do. We want to control everything. And it's just like you already expressed your needs. Just sit back and just let the blessings fall down on you.
Okay.
And it's easier said than done. It's
Absolutely.
it's I'm still kind of struggling with it now a bit, but I've gotten better. But then it's sometimes where it's situations where you literally have no control. And it's
Mm.
like so it's just like I'm just gonna leave it up to God, and it always ends up working out at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I love how you the year of surrender. Because like you
Hmm.
said, sometimes there what choice do you have? You're not in control of nothing. Like,
Exactly.
like just let go, because that is what builds the like stress and anxiety and all of those things, because like you're trying to control a situation that we have no control over, right?
Exactly.
And then I want to also like challenge that though, also because it's like surrendering to life and going like with the flow, but also um like you said, you stated what you wanted, right? You stated
Hmm.
what you wanted, manifesting that, right? And you got to just let go. Because I think,
Exactly.
like you said, a lot of times it's the instant gratification, right? It's like
Hmm.
I want it now, and when I don't get it right now, I think like, oh well, it's not meant to be, oh it's not for me. And no, you just gotta wait
Yeah.
on it, right?
You just
You
got
just
to be
gotta work
patient
at
on
it.
it. Yep. Because faith
Exactly.
without works is dead.
Oh,
Like
that's
the thing
it.
about it is like you can't just pray and ask for something or manifest something and not do any actions at all. It's like
Okay.
even the smallest, taking it back to the smallest unit.
Hmm.
I want a production studio. Okay, I know I'm not going to get the production studio up by tomorrow, but what can I do today? Okay, let me research other production studios. Let me Let me follow other people's journey. Let me ask for advice. Let me tap into my network. Things like that. The little seeds that we plant.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I definitely want to talk about you say how your background in psychology and social work shapes the way you bring Black culture, storytelling, and podcasting into your work, including projects like Black with Benefits. And I definitely want to hear about the new project. But yeah,
Okay.
talk more about, because I something that I absolutely I love to see is people bringing their like gifts together. Like I have a gift in something. Oh, for a prime example, somebody who was on this podcast, and I'll put the episode in the show notes. Pam Brown, she is a like a pet, oh gosh, I'm so a
Therapist, like a
dog,
pet.
yeah, like a dog therapist, basically,
Okay.
and like behavioral things,
Oh,
right? So
nice.
like, yeah, when dogs are having like behavioral things, the parents will call her, and she'll help them out. But she was saying like she what is it? She was a medium. She's a medium, and
Oh,
she
wow.
uses that in her like dog training. And it's like, people, when you hear those two things, you're never going to think that they go together. But, she was able to
Hmm.
put them together. So I'm always interested to hear how people's gifts just kind of come together to create something beautiful.
Yeah, no, I think that's really cool. I've
Yeah.
never heard of that. Well, kind of like so she's like the dog whisperer a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. That's
Exactly.
super cool. That's super
Yeah.
cool. I feel like for me, I love psychology. Mental health is just my expertise. And I think that the culture now, especially within Black culture, we're pushing, go to therapy. Um, Mental health is important,
Yeah.
but we got to be realistic about accessibility. I feel like when it comes to mental health, like, yeah, I do encourage people to go to therapy, but in reality, not everyone is going to go to therapy.
Yeah.
And if we talk about just like systemic issues, the cost of therapy, the luxury of it, or even just being on like government health insurance and not having access to great providers is one thing. So
Mhm.
I decided to kind of figure out what is a way that I could make this complicated concept um, digestible to anyone.
Hmm.
And that's kind of like where I came up with just like finding my niche in like storytelling. Um, just in case, the average person can't afford to go to therapy, but maybe they listen to my podcast and they realize like, oh, I do these patterns when I'm in a relationship,
Mm.
or, you know, I've
Yeah.
I've had this issue with my parents and I tend to treat my kids this way. So my thing is like I want my content to spark brains.
Yeah.
And like one, I'm a huge Tupac fan, big hip hop head, and I always love this interview that Tupac talks about. He says, I may not be the one to change the world, but I guarantee you I will spark the brain that does.
Mm.
And like that's the whole point
Yeah.
of to me of life. It's like sparking brains to just inspire people to walk in their purpose, to do what they do.
Yeah. Yo, I really love that. Because it's like you said, not everybody can get to so I want to talk about a few things about therapy, because I am all for therapy. Absolutely, right?
Hmm.
But it's not, so first of all, it's not easy finding a therapist. I
Yeah.
I'm sure you've probably heard about the Loveland Foundation, right?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so the Loveland Foundation gives you and I'll put this in the show notes. I actually learned about it from somebody else who was on the podcast. So shout out to Marquita S. Merrick. I'll put her episode in the show notes too. So the Loveland Foundation gives 12 vouchers of $120 each to women of color. I think it's women of
Nice.
color, not Black women specifically. Pretty sure it's women of color. But yeah, you apply to be in a cohort, and I think they do it quarterly.
And you gotta apply quick because that thing, it closes quick. Like, people want it.
Yeah, because
Um
people want it. Yeah.
People want it, yeah. So I applied to one of their cohorts. I got accepted. I never made my like profile, because they say if you make your profile, you can't apply for the next cohort, and you have to find your own therapist. So I'm still in the process of finding a therapist, and I've
Okay.
spoken to so many, and I know I'm picky, but the therapists are picky too. If they're ethical, then they're going to be picky, right? They're going to know if they
Mm-hmm.
can help you or not. So I just want to talk a little bit about the journey of finding a therapist. Has been hard, and it has felt like a lot of rejection, because you telling these people your problems, you telling them
Mm-hmm.
your issues, and a lot of the times they're like, I'm not a good fit for you. So it's hard, because it's like knowing I'm about to have this whole conversation with somebody else, hoping that they'll be a good fit, but they may not be. And I'm sure it'll be worth it. I'm sure once I
Yeah.
find the person for me, it'll be like, yes, I went through all of this to find you, and yes, it's worth it, right? But right now it is hard. So I just realistically, it is not easy to find a therapist and pay for therapy, and have those resources. So I
Yeah.
love what you do, because it's bringing it to the masses, right? Like,
Exactly.
it's the concepts that I would learn in therapy, right? Those are the concepts that you kind of put into your content, and like you said, like, maybe I have that pattern. Maybe I can look into that, right? It just sparks a thought,
Yeah.
and you never know what that thought will lead to. So, yeah, I think that's beautiful what you do. Why is that so important to you specifically?
I think it's important to me because I really believe that in order for Black people to be free, it starts with education.
Mm.
Um, and I think that I like deconstructed the white gaze so much that I feel like I'm not about like not saying that I'm not for equality, because I am, but I think for so long the black like just Black people in general, we've been fighting for a seat at the table,
Mm.
and I'm just ready to build my own and celebrate Blackness. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just not trying to be equal anymore. I'm just focused on just celebrating our culture, but then we have to have some uncomfortable conversations.
Mhm.
It's a lot of like taboo topics that, especially with my up and coming project of Black with Benefits, that we discuss. So, like, for example, one thing that is very uncomfortable to talk about is diaspora wars, is Black people oppressing
Oh,
other Black
I'm
people.
so glad you brought that up. Please talk about that. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think we know that being Black isn't a monolith. We're all different. But I feel that we we have other focuses that are important, and we
Yeah.
can't get to that if we're over here fighting each other, because
Okay.
I'm Caribbean and you're foundational Black American, and it's just like, at the end of the day, MLK was a Christian, Malcolm was Muslim, James Baldwin was queer, but like they didn't let that get in the way. They all had a sole purpose to fight for the rights of Black people.
Mm.
And I feel like we need to. It's kind of like divide and conquer.
Yes.
That's exactly what
Yes.
it is. And I just want more people to understand that, like, we got bigger fish to fry. Like,
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. Because I feel that exact same way. I love the way you worded it. I love to watch movies and like fantasy shows and action shows and things like that. And it just reminds every time, the people have to solve the problem, they get to the like last showdown, they always got to split up, and they conquer the thing from different ways, right? So it's like,
hmm
instead of fighting about our differences or like talking about who's better, which is, I think, is
yeah,
so idiotic, it's like, let's embrace what's different about us, because those are our superpowers. Those are the things that will help us thrive, right? And just
hmm
tackle it from the different ways. Like, it just That makes so much sense to me. But I'm just all about collaboration and how we can help each other and how we can build together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what community is. It's
Yes.
legit what community is. And it's just like
Yes.
not caring about what, like, granted, we already know white supremacy has done a number on us.
Yes.
But it's like, instead of just like sitting in that sorrow, like I think it's important to know it, of course, and to, like, it is a factor, but it's like like we're literally the most replicated culture
Okay.
ever, and we're just a vibe, like, so
Yes.
let's just focus on the fun and the, the great aspects of, like, we dominate music, we dominate any industry that we're in, we just dominate it.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes. I love that. So true. So tell us all about Black with Benefits. Tell us when it's coming out. Talk about the work you do on the show. I mean, we kind of know maybe what inspired it, but if you want to go more into like what inspired it, all of that. Tell us all the good deets.
Sure. So, I originally wrote it as a TV show. I had took, like, just like you, how you like panels and master classes. I took a master class, actually from Gene Ali. He played on Insecure,
Mm,
played Issa's brother on
yeah.
Insecure, and at the time, he has a show called Sin Help Series. It's a really good show. I think you can find it on like Apple TV or like
Okay.
All Black. um and him and his partner, his business partner, taught a class about writing a TV show, pitching it, and
Mm,
just like the ins and outs of it. And when I watched the show, like, so I grew up loving TV, watching all black sitcoms till this day. I'm the person that will sit at home and watch a marathon of like Sister Sister or Moesha or something, or
yes.
just binge watch it. But like, I've always felt represented since I was younger. But
Mm,
after watching that show Sin Help series, I really saw myself in it. And it's just like the premise is just about like, um, a guy who is of Haitian descent, and he is on a hit TV show, and then the show gets canceled.
ah,
And then he's basically trying to just navigate the industry while also dealing with mental health issues and all. And then I remember thinking, like, this is so innovative. Like, I've never seen a great representation of Caribbeans on TV. Usually when it is Caribbeans, it's usually someone imitating an accent, but they don't really get the real actors of, like, whether it's like Jamaican
yep.
or Guyanese or Haitian. So also, I was like watching this interview one time with Issa, and Issa was saying, like, if you don't see what you want on TV, create it yourself.
Mhm. Mhm.
And to me, it was just like, I want to see the nuance of blackness on TV, because we're not a monolith, we're all different. So Black with Benefits came from that idea. So I wrote the TV script, and it's basically about ongoing situationship, because we know, like, right now within relationships, especially millennials, is that situationship culture
Mhm.
is taking over. You talk to anyone, they say the dating pool or the dating
It's
market is
trash.
trash, they got piss in it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't think that people understand why it's like that, why we get into situationships. And my whole point is to show the psychology behind it.
Mm,
I study human behavior, so there's literally um, reasons why we end up choosing the partners that we choose.
mhm.
And the whole point of Black with Benefits is to kind of put a mirror to everyone to see, like, maybe I fall into this pattern, and it's also to just discuss super taboo topics, things that have never really been discussed. Like, I brought up Black people oppressing other Black people,
Mm,
doing the right thing, going to college and still not seeing the benefits of it. Just different, like, niche topics that I think is important to talk about.
yeah.
Um, and it's also supposed to be a framework for mental health, because of the accessibility. The whole point of the show is that I want every Black person to see themselves in it. So whether you're a billionaire for a Fortune 500 company, or you're an average person from the hood, you should be able to relate to the show.
Love it.
And it's supposed to just spark thought so we can have these nuanced conversations so we could just heal as a community, and then just build tables for the next generation coming up and inspire them that they could do it too. So
Yes.
that's like the whole concept of Black with Benefits. Hopefully, like, we're in the editing phase now, so hopefully it will be done by December.
Okay.
And yeah, so the way it got transitioned to audio scripted podcast. So I'm not really, like, when it comes to podcasting and producing, my niche is more so interview style podcasts, current events, things like that. I am not in the realm of audio scripted podcasts at all. But one of my close friends, shouts to Denise, she's also an executive producer of Black with Benefits. She's been in podcasting for a while because she's a podcast incubator.
Mm.
And basically what an incubator does is that they connect you to different resources, things like that. They're like the hub for podcasting.
Yeah.
So she was on a podcast, audio scripted podcast called Harlem Queens. And there was like a season finale wrap up party, and she invited me to go with her. And then when I met the creator of that show, and we were kind of talking about like my show and like the pitching process of what I'm going through, and she was just like, why haven't you turned it into an audio scripted podcast yet? And I'm like, I never really thought about that. And she's just like, you're literally a podcast producer. And I'm like, no, you're right. You're right. So then from then I was just like, we literally went to that event. The next week we were in the studio recording.
Nice.
Like, it just happened so quickly. And it's so crazy because Black with Benefits is like literally like my baby. I've worked on it for 3 years. And I went back to my notes, like my original notes. So originally I remember writing the script, and then it got deleted. Like, I finished the whole pilot episode and it got deleted, and then I had to redo it all over again. And then like
It was meant to happen.
It was meant to happen.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I don't play about like
Yeah.
saving stuff.
Okay.
And then I went back to my notes and I saw that I had a note that said to turn it into an audio podcast, scripted podcast.
Wow.
So it's so crazy how that worked. And that was 2 years ago that I wrote that. So
oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. I cannot wait for it to come out. Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm so excited for you. It's funny because you sometimes we're too close to the things, right? Even though it's like, yeah, I know this is what I do. Yeah, I know, like, I have the skills to do these things, right? But sometimes it's like we need the reminder,
the
like,
push,
yeah,
the push,
exactly.
or the reminder.
Yeah, exactly. You talk a lot about, like, supporting and inspiring, motivating, like, the next generation and our generation too, and just like Black people, Black women. Why is that important to you?
I think it's important because we will become someone's ancestors one day. In our generation, we have to leave a mark for the next generation, just to know that it's possible, that you can do what you want exists. And it's also important just so people, like, sparking the brain to know that that's even a thing that you could do.
Right.
Because some people probably just think like, okay, the route of being a doctor, being a lawyer, and that's cool if you want to do it. But other people, especially younger people, it's like, no, like, you can make a living off of being in the podcast industry.
Yeah. I love. It's just, showing them it's a different way. There's another way, because we got told there was only one way.
Exactly. And I'm pretty sure there's gonna be multiple other ways that are coming too, that we just don't know about yet.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that, because I felt like there was only one way. Gotta go to college, gotta work, and gotta work a job that I hate to work a job that I love, like that type of mindset.
Yeah,
right?
like working a 9 to 5 and working on your dreams from 5 to 9.
Exactly. Like that's the way to do it, right? There is no other way. But no. There's so many other ways. I love that. Love that. Okay. So my last question for you, and you've given advice over the course of this episode, but if you have any other specific advice for Black women entrepreneurs, what would it be?
I would say my advice is rejection is redirection.
Ooh,
And
yeah.
I think especially with Black women, we deal with rejection so much and we take it so personal.
Mm,
And of course, just us being humans, we're gonna take it personal. But it's like everything literally it sounds cliche, everything happens for a reason. Like you being rejected, like you don't know what you were gonna walk into. So it's all about alignment. I think alignment is very important. Also, you know, be authentic, just be you. I think especially in podcasting, we try so hard to be polished,
mm-hmm.
and I think that people gravitate towards authenticity.
Yep. Yep.
So just
Absolutely.
wake up and try to be yourself every day. It's easier said than done, but it's a journey,
Yeah.
Just
Absolutely.
start off small, and then eventually it turns into a routine where you just wake up and you're just yourself, and you like you said, you don't have to be rude. You can be polite and still be yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Okay, so the last thing I'll talk about, and if you want to comment on it, of course, feel
Okay.
free. But another thing that I learned from you from the Afros and Audio workshop was to kind of like it's okay to ask for what you want, right? And it's
Hmm.
okay to do what you want. You were talking about like the type of producer you were, and you like the type of things that you wanted to work on, and what you did not want to do. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that she has these strong boundaries and is like, yeah, this is what I'm doing and this is
Yeah.
not what I'm doing, because I always felt like, no, you got to do all of the things. Like whatever the producer does, you got to just suck it up and do those things in order to get into the industry, right? In order like to
Hmm.
be successful and all of those things. And it's just like, no, like she has the accolades, she got the experience, and she got these big ass boundaries. And I love
Hmm.
that. So yeah, because boundaries is something I've always worked on. And I feel
Yeah.
like I'm finally getting there where I'm like with my clients, like, no, this is the time is the time, the pay is the pay, right? Like I can
Yeah.
finally be confident in my pricing, right? So it feels good, and it felt so good to hear you say those things as a Black woman
I'm so
entrepreneur.
glad
Like,
that you took that from that.
girl, yes,
That's so amazing because that was like literally like last year. And I
yes,
felt like
I
I was
learned.
just like talking, just being myself, just
But in that,
explaining my
because something I
experience.
always say is right, you never know the impact that you're gonna have on people. You didn't know what impact
Hmm.
you were having on me.
Yeah,
but
I
but you
didn't know at
showed up
all.
as yourself, right? And you said the things that you wanted to say. You had these boundaries and you were confident. And look how you impacted me.
That's great.
Yeah.
I hope I continue to impact
You
people. That is to
will.
me, that is like the ultimate reward. I
Yeah.
think like it's just seeing other people like just fully walk into their purpose. If I
Yes.
can inspire that, I've done my job.
Love that. Love that.